Hello, everybody. My name is Vern Defoe. I'm Anishinaabe from Red Cliff, Wisconsin. I am the executive chef at Gatherings Cafe. And today I'm going to show you how to prepare a simple meatball recipe with wild rice and turkey and some seasonings. So first we're gonna cook up this wild rice and saute some of this garlic, and I'll show you how to cut a leek, this crazy looking onion. But first, let's just get this wild rice on. So take your wild rice, put it in a pan with some water, and just put it on the stove to boil. Right, grab some gloves here. Gloves on. Start out with garlic because the leeks are really dirty. So since we're going to be getting some dirt around, might as well cut this garlic up first. And again, just kind of like the first video, there's a million different ways you can process garlic. There's only a couple cloves, so this time I will just hand peel these. All right, and sometimes you'll get like a little blemishes on your garlic, or little dark spots. So just go ahead and trim those off, and cut off the little ends there because they're really chewy. And first, I just kind of like to slice it, and this is just going to be like a mince. So. Just break the garlic down slowly, and then we'll do this technique that I kind of did last time, which is just a way to get it nice and minced up, where you just kind of lightly place your hand on top of the knife. Get it all nice and broken down. Looks pretty good. I'm going to take this garlic, put it in a bowl. All right, now we'll move on to the leek. So mostly people use the leeks are pretty much just the white parts. So you want to cut this off, and it kind of seems like a lot of waste, and as you can see there's some dirt. These grow inside the mud, so that's why they're so muddy. But you can rinse these off and save these and use them as stock. You can eat them, but they're kind of fibrous. So if you are going to eat the green parts, I would suggest blanching them and then cutting them up so that they're easier to chew. So you kind of get this cylinder shape here. And this is basically like, a big green onion. And then there's, some more dirt. And you could keep peeling, going down, but we're going to be rinsing this, so I'll just leave it at that. This looks pretty good. So what you do is you cut it in half, and then just kind of put it on its side, and then I like to take my knife and just kind of cut these little ribbons. Kind of like that. Spin it around, get the other side. Then you've got these nice little stacks here that you nicely set up so that you can dice them. And depending on how much you like onion, you might want to cut them into little bigger chunks. I'm just going to cut them this size because I'm halfway done cutting them already. And these are probably about, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch big. So you got these all down, and then you want to take the onions and put them in a strainer or a colander. Or if you don't have either of those, you can soak them in water and the mud will kind of come out. But basically you just take these and rinse them off in the water, make sure the dirt's all off. All right, so we've got our leeks inside this strainer here. So you just kind of rinse them out, move it around, because the good thing about the mud compared to other dirt is it's so fine that it washes off pretty easily. So it's looking pretty good. And while we're at it, our rice is done, so we might as well strain that. You can just use the same colander. All right, now that we got the rice strained out, we're gonna go ahead and just set this aside, and then we're gonna move on to saute the garlic and onions. Once we're done with that, we'll put these in the cooler to cool down, so then we can mix it in with the meat. All right, so now we'll get to sauteing the garlic and the leeks. Put a little bit of oil in the pan. Little pinch of salt. I like to just put a little salt on everything, just a tiny bit. And get these all nice and sauteed up. Cook them down till their leeks start to get translucent. This process will take about, I don't know, maybe like 5-10 minutes about. All right, so this is looking pretty good. So we'll just take this onions and garlic and the rice and just put it in the same dish as the rice. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention the rice probably takes about 10 to 12 minutes to cook, just until it's tender, and then you can just put it in the bowl. And I would suggest, when you're cooling down, to put stuff in metal, because if you're using plastic, it's going to stay warm, whereas a metal bowl, it'll cool down a lot quicker. So we'll just go ahead and put this in the fridge, probably for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. All right, so we got our rice and our onions and garlic all nice and cooled, and now it's time for the fun part. So we got our turkey meat here. We're going to just add the rice, garlic, and the leeks. Then we take our spices here, which we've got paprika, smoked paprika, salt, pepper, oregano, and sage. Put that in there, and then you just get your hands in there and just start mixing it up. This is something that kids would probably have a lot of fun doing, and if you don't have gloves, that's totally fine. You can use your bare hands. Just make sure that you don't touch anything else besides this. And when you're done mixing it, to wash your hands right away with soap and water. Make sure you scrub your fingers for about 30 seconds just to get all that meat off. All right, so just get this well incorporated here. Another good thing about this recipe is you can use whatever ground meat. You could use ground chicken, you could use ground beef, ground bison. You could even use fish. It's just a really fun, easy way to play around and make yourself some proteins in a different way than probably what you're used to or normally do. And another thing, if you are using red meat like a beef or bison, the proteins in them are a little bit different and are a little tougher, so you kind of want to actually mix them for a while because the proteins will start to break down and they'll kind of get elasticy and kind of like this, sort of, and kind of mushy, but that's perfect for making meatballs because they'll hold together really well then. All right, so we got the mix, and now I'll get ready to put them in the oven. Now we're going to get these onto a sheet pan. If you have some food release spray, you could spray it. Otherwise, you can just take a little bit of oil. This is just so the meatballs don't stick to the pan. Just spread it out like that. Try to get it corner to corner with the oil. And then if you have a scoop, you can use a scoop. You can also use your hands. This is, I can't remember the size of this scoop, but it's about the size of a golf ball. So you just scoop out some meat, and you just take them and just roll them up like this. Put them on your pan. Give them a little bit of space on the pan just so they cook evenly. Yeah, the nice thing about this recipe is you can just take the meatballs, you could eat them as is, you could mix them in with some spaghetti, you could put some gravy on them and put them on rice. It's pretty versatile. So just a good way to get some protein and learn a new technique of cooking. And a fun way to use wild rice. All right, we got our meatballs on the tray, and we'll just put them in the oven. We're cooking them at 350, probably for about 20 minutes, I would say. Just setting the timer here. All right, so the timer just went off. I'm gonna pull these meatballs out. So since these are turkey, poultry, you wanna make sure that they're cooked all the way through. 20 minutes should be enough. But if you have a thermometer, just stick it in the middle, maybe check a couple and just make sure that the temperature gets up to 160 degrees. And then you can just take them out and cool them down and enjoy them however you want. I hope you enjoy this. Thank you very much.